Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Impact7 and today I'm going to be playing F1 2019. We're at the Hungarian Grand Prix. This is my career with Mercedes. This is Season 5, Round 12. I'd like to thank everyone who's watching right now, really do appreciate it. Please don't forget to hit that like button, share, comment and subscribe. Really appreciate my road to 1,000 subscribers. As you can see on the screen now, it's drivers and constructor standings. Max Verstappen's been on quite a roll lately. I don't know what's going on with the Red Bull. He's just been flying. I just can't keep up with him right now. He's leading with 179 points. I'm in second with 152. Here's Lucas Weber, Carlos Sainz, Charles Leclerc, Sebastian Vettel, Devon Butler, Valtteri Bottas, Lance Stroll, my teammate, in 9th place. And in 10th is George Russell, rounding out the top 10. Constructors standings, Mercedes is in the lead by just 1 point to Red Bull. Then it's Ferrari, Racing Point, Toro Rosso, McLaren, Haas, Renault, Williams, and Alfa Romeo. Oh boy. Got 551 resource points. And oh, I forgot to say, also please don't forget to follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Discord. Links are free as usual are in the description box down below. Can't forget that. Now, this is a video rather than a live stream. I'll be doing this on 2 more races for this upcoming weekend. Upcoming 2 weekends, because I want to make sure that I finish this season before the new game comes out. As you can see, I'm currently changing my components. In addition to that, we're the 3rd best car on the grid. Now, the main thing is, as you can see, weather forecast. The race is going to be wet, which is why I'm not looking forward to this at all. And qualifying is going to be dry. So hopefully I can get first row of the grid for qualifying and then see how things go from there. I have to pay attention to Max because he's just on fire lately. Here we go, jumping straight into qualifying. This is my 2nd lap in qualifying. First lap got me 13th place, which obviously meant I had to go out again on brand new set of soft tyres. Less than 5 minutes to go in the session. I'm up on my times, though I'm 3 tenths down in the 2nd sector. Now normally the 2nd sector is where I do the best when it comes to this track, so the fact that I'm so far down is actually really worrying me at this stage. So around the final corner, DRS activated, lost DRS, and across the line I go 7th place. That's not very encouraging for me. Personal best in all 3 sectors, but that was nowhere near good enough. Max Verstappen leading, continuing his run, almost 4 tenths quicker. I was 1.1 slower than him. That's really concerning. The following 5 cars in qualifying 1 are Kimi Räikkönen, Alexander Albon, George Russell, Antonio Giovinazzi, and Kevin Magnussen. Here we go to qualifying 2 now. Come on to the 2nd sector detection point, almost 6 tenths up on Hulkenburg in the 2nd sector. Now that's more like it, though. With the way Verstappen's been driving, he's making Hulkenburg look like a scrub, which he clearly is not. Lucas Weber's gone quickest, 1 minute 14.1. Can I beat that time? DRS activated. Across the line, 1 minute 13.6.
You've just put in the fastest lap. Good job.
Currently the quickest. I expect Verstappen to beat my time, and he does. As you can see, end of qualifying 2. Finished 9th place, able to get into qualifying 3, which is good. So next 5 cars eliminated are Charles Leclerc, Daniel Ricciardo, Lewis Hamilton, Sebastian Vettel, and Devon Butler. And here we go for qualifying 3. As you can see on the screen, it's beginning to rain, which is a bit annoying for me, but considering the car setup that I'm using for this track, I'm not very good in a straight line, but I do have pretty good downforce, so my car setup actually helps me out in these sort of conditions. So let's see how this goes. Unfortunately, Lando Norris decided to get in my way. Really annoying with that. In real life, he would have got a grid penalty for that. Definitely. to the apex rather nicely there. Now this upcoming corner is probably one of the most difficult corners to get right. Because if you take too much curb, you could go flying in either direction. You could go straight on, or you could go spinning into the wall opposite. 1 minute 15.6 from Lucas Weber, so the rain is clearly affecting the track. These last series of corners is probably one of the most difficult, because if you mess up any of these corners, you'll lose. Oh my days, I'm almost a second up. That's very encouraging. On a Ferrari as well, which is the second best car on the grid, better than the Mercedes. Yet I was a second up in the second sector, which is very encouraging. Around the final corner now. Directs activated, and my time is 1 minute 14.1.
Fantastic. That was the fastest lap.
Very happy with that time. Wasn't too far off what I did in the dry, to be honest, so that was very surprising. And now I've got pole position. Very happy with that, 1 minute 14.1. Max Verstappen, more than 2.5 attempts down on me. My teammate in 7th place. So I'm happy with that, pole position. But it seems to me that I perform better in qualifying than I do in the race. So here we go.
It's always wonderful to come back to the lively Hungaroring. A popular destination this, nice and close to the beautiful city of Budapest, with some exciting racing to boot. Who can forget Michael Schumacher pushing his old teammate Rubens Barrichello up towards the pit wall in 2010, or those great races of 2014 and 2015 as well. The Hungaroring, it's like Monaco without the boats. 14 corners, 6 to the left and 8 to the right, and some very tricky corners to deal with. These rainy conditions out there aren't going to help either, so it's very likely we'll see a safety car or two during today's race. It's not going to be plain sailing for our drivers today, although with the sky falling as it is, perhaps sailing isn't too far from the truth. And Anthony Davidson, could be a wet one today. Great to have you with us. What are your thoughts?
It is a touch damp, isn't it? Well, as a driver, there are 3 big things to worry about when racing in these kind of conditions: standing water, tyre temperature and visibility. Judging distance to the cars around you is really tricky when you're driving through the vast amounts of spray that these wet weather Pirelli tyres kick up.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Campbell lines up on pole position and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Perez, Hulkenburg, Carlos Sainz and Norris, Stroll, Bottas, Weber and Pierre Gasly, Leclerc, Ricciardo, Lewis Hamilton and Vettel, Butler, Raikkonen, Alexander Albon and George Russell. Giovinazzi and Kevin Magnussen fills the last spot on the grid.
2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, we are racing! I'm still in our pole position. I'm having a really hard time getting off the line there, and I'm just getting swamped as usual. Oh boy, both Red Bulls got by me. A Haas, a Ferrari dived up the inside, used the Haas as a braking to stop me there. Got to 2nd place. No issues there, thankfully. No damage to the front wing, but unfortunately Max Verstappen's ahead of me, and at this stage I was already on a downer considering the beginning. But Max Verstappen's in the lead, and already I didn't think things would be looking too good for me here. This really was like a experimental lap, to be honest, trying to figure out how I can go through this lap, go through this race, and be competitive. So it's really about testing how much I can push the car, really. Verstappen's opening up a gap. Hulkenburg right behind me, Perez behind him. Very nice camera view there. Entire grid in that one shot. Looks like I'm just starting to pull away a bit from Hulkenburg here. Max Verstappen just set the fastest lap of the race, as you can see in the top right hand corner of the screen. Things are looking okay so far. Able to keep the car on track, which is at least some kind of achievement. Ran a bit wide there, or had to counter steer 1.5 seconds down on Verstappen. Oh, again lost the back end, ran wide. Hulkenburg's catching me. Gonna do a flashback here. That's one. Oh, able to keep it this time. Took too much curve there. So as usual, I restrict myself to just 2 flashbacks. So that was 1 right there. Got 1 more left. 50% race, which means 35 laps, as you can see top right. Personal best, both sectors. 1.6 behind Verstappen. I think that was 1.1 clear of Hulkenburg. Really struggling to get the power down there. Around the final corner. Max Verstappen fastest lap, 1 minute 30.5. I did a 1 minute 31.2, so you can clearly see the difference there. 7 tenths quicker than me on that lap alone. Hit the apex nicely there. But that was really more out of luck than me doing that on purpose. Now we move over to lap 3 now. 4th place Perez, 5th place Sainz, and 6th place is my teammate Lance Stroll. Got a 3-way fight here. And as you saw me and Hulkenburg in the shot as well. That curb on the inside you've just seen them pass is really, really slippery, even in the dry. You put your front tyre, or any tyre for that matter, on that curb and you're gonna go spinning. It's really, really treacherous, that. Carlos Sainz is right behind Perez here. He doesn't want to get him, doesn't want to let him get away here. Normally the Ferrari's not supposed to do well in wet conditions, but doing well right now to keep up with Perez and attack him, looks like. My teammate's not really attacking Carlos Sainz. Going around the final corner. Got a nice view here of Perez's helmet. Carlos Sainz, oh, Carlos Sainz is right behind Perez here. He's going to go for the inside move here. No outside. Because you get the outside moves, he's going to be very, very ambitious here. Around the outside, both of them being fair to each other. Hulkenburg's right on me as well. Oh, Carlos Sainz should have him now. He's got the inside line. And he does have him, does he? Perez is still fighting him. He's going to stick with it. Perez is. But Sainz is able to get it. Well done to Carlos Sainz. Up into 4th place now. Well done to him. Now what can my teammate do? Back to my POV. Lap 8. Start to just pull away from Hulkenburg a bit here. Look at the long queue on the bottom left. Just a really, really big queue. And there is now a retirement. As you can see top right, there's Devon Butler. Unlucky for him. I think that's an engine failure, I think. Really unlucky for him. As you can see, there you go.
Caution, caution. The virtual safety car is out. Reduce speed and maintain a positive delta. Okay, slow down, slow down. Your delta is negative, which means you are too fast. Reduce your pace.
The virtual safety car, I really don't like it in this game. Because no matter what, I always lose a heap of time. I always do. Only time the virtual safety car is good is when it's called out just before you're about to pit. Because it's beautiful, then you can gain some time. That's the only time a virtual safety car is good, as far as I'm concerned. So right now, the only cars outside of that long train, as you can see.
VSC ending, we're going green. Maintain positive delta until the green flags.
As I was saying before, so rudely interrupted.
Green
The only
flag.
cars not in that long queue is Verstappen, who's in first. I'm in second. Hulkenburg third.
You're increasing the gap on the car behind by 0.5 per lap.
Carlos Sainz fourth. Perez fifth. Sixth is my teammate Lance Stroll. There's Devon Butler off to the side.
Caution, caution, yellow flags ahead. No overtaking through the caution zone. Be careful until you see the greens.
Other than those cars that I've mentioned, everyone else is in that long train of cars. So that's from, what, 7th all the way down to 19th, because Devon Butler's out, so he would be the 20th car. That's a really, really big queue. I don't think I've seen a bigger queue than that while I'm playing this game, and this is my 5th season.
A new strategy is available on the MFD.
Okay, what strategy they're going to give me? Oh, lost back end. Oh my goodness. Really lost back end there.
Got that confirmed.
Okay, so they want me to go 2 extra laps to lap 19 for the Inters. One thing's for absolute certain, I have way too much downforce, even in the dry conditions. In the wet, okay, I guess it's acceptable, my car setup, but in the dry conditions, I just have too much downforce. I'm way too slow in a straight line. Jump to lap 14 now. 5th place, my teammate. 5th place, Perez, sorry. 6th place is my teammate. Pretty sure Lance Stroll's pretty much sick and tired of seeing the back of Perez's car for the past 14 laps. They're pretty much by themselves right now. They've got a huge train of cars behind them, and then the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz is just disappeared off into the distance. Probably be able to see Carlos Sainz if you have that wide shot. Yes, we do. Just as you can see, he's just going through the final corner now. Just as these guys go through the second to last corner. I really do like this camera view. This camera view is nice. Can Stroll pass Perez the same way Carlos Sainz did? Nope. Not close enough. Now to my POV, 2 laps later, lap 16. As you can see on the bottom left, I've been able to open the gap to Hulkenburg a bit more now. But as you can see, Verstappen's done the exact same thing to me. He's absolutely flying. 7 seconds clear of me, pretty much. 5.1 clear of Hulkenburg. Throughout this entire race, I've been playing around with the fuel mix, with the ERS, constantly. The first couple laps was really, fastest in the middle sector. As I was saying, what's going to happen here? Is Verstappen pitting? No, he's not.
Verstappen has just put up the fastest lap of the race so far.
Fastest lap of the race for Max Verstappen.
2 laps until the pit window. You'll be on inters for the next stint.
Okay. Alright.
You're increasing the gap on the car behind by 0.5 per lap.
As I was saying before, the first couple of laps was really about me trying to figure out how I can actually get through this race and be competitive. Clearly not with Verstappen because he's just disappearing off into the distance, but with Hulkenburg, can I actually pull away from him? And it looks like I can, so that was encouraging. Though I would like to know what's going on with Verstappen because he's just on another level. He's really determined to win the World Championship, his first World Championship. Personal best first sector. We're on lap 17. My teammate's still behind Sergio Perez, unfortunately. I would have thought he would have moved on by now. Although, what I will say is that Carlos Sainz looks like he's just starting to catch up to Hulkenberg, the Ferrari and the Red Bull. Another personal best. So keep on improving. Going second to last corner. There goes Max Verstappen in the pits. And just as he pits, I do.
Great work. That's a new fastest lap for the race.
Do a new fastest at 1:30.1. That's encouraging. That was a pretty smooth stop for Verstappen. Now we're on a lap later, I believe. Lap 19. Now it's my turn to pit. I was kind of hoping I'd be able to go a bit longer into the race, but I was losing too much time. Verstappen took a second out of me in that one lap that I stayed out longer than him. He was just flying, so I didn't have anything to gain at that point. And the last thing I wanted to do was to carry on and then Hulkenberg catch me. So pretty smooth lap, pretty smooth pit stop, no issues there. Here we are on lap 25 now, following Max Verstappen, the Drivers' Championship leader. Got to improve the gap even further to me. Don't know where he's getting this pace from. I really have no clue. He's just absolutely flying. Red Bull does normally do well around this track, but not this well. Really nice camera view here. Get a nice view of what Max Verstappen's seeing. Quite smooth. Just be able to see me going through the corner here. Go around the final corner for Max Verstappen. To start lap 26. Now to positions. Max Verstappen in first. I'm in second, Nico Hulkenburg third, Carlos Sainz fourth, Sergio Perez fifth, Lance Stroll sixth, Lucas Weber seventh, Lando Norris eighth, Valtteri Bottas ninth, Pierre 10th, Charles Leclerc 11th, Sebastian Vettel 12th, Daniel Ricciardo 13th, Lewis Hamilton 14th, Alexander Albon 15th, Kimi Räikkönen 16th, 17th is George Russell, 18th is Antonio Giovinazzi, 19th is Kevin Magnussen, and 20th is Devon Butler, who is a DNF. As you saw earlier. As you can see, I'm in rich and overtake. And at this point, it's pretty much, I'm in no man's land right now. Got a nice gap to Nico Hulkenburg, and I've got an unfavourable gap to Verstappen. in the coming laps, it looks like Max Verstappen is going to be able to catch up to that long train of cars. It's just ahead of him. If I'm not mistaken, I think this could be the first time this season where I'll actually be able to lap some cars. That's how slow this group has been in front of Verstappen.
Verstappen ahead. They're on old Inters. Their tyres are 9 laps old. The time last lap was a 1 minute 29.5. You're falling back by 1/10 a lap.
That seems to be a theme, really. The opening couple laps, he just flies away from me, and then once I start to get comfortable, it swaps and changes only by a 1/10 of a second. That's it. Even if I'm pushing, it's just a 1/10. It's really frustrating. Lap 30 with Max Verstappen. Coming up to the lap cars now. I believe the first car he's going to encounter is Kevin Magnussen in the Williams, as well as his teammate just in front of him, which I believe is Antonio Giovinazzi. Max Verstappen's owned this race from start to finish. Been a bit of time since Red Bull last won a World Championship. Max Verstappen wants to put that right, and it looks like in the not too distant future he'll do just that. His brake disc glowing red there. Magnussen gets out of the way before the final corner. Very nice of him. Lap 32, as you can see, top right is Max Verstappen going through the traffic.
There's 3 laps of fuel remaining.
Okay, not long to go in the race now. There's 3 laps. Kind of got the fastest lap of the race, but not too sure I'll be able to keep that, to be honest. Max Verstappen just gets by the racing point. I think that was Hamilton who just got by. He must be thinking, what have I done? How could I sign up to drive for such a team where they're not even challenging for wins, even to the point where he's getting lapped. I guess one of the good things for me right now is, considering he's going through these lap cars, such allowing me to catch up, but at the same time it's a double-edged sword. Yeah, I'm catching up to Verstappen while he's going through the lap cars, but eventually I'll have to do the same thing, and Verstappen will be able to gain back that time he lost in the lap cars because I'll be going through them. Just 2 more laps to go. To be honest, yeah, I'm a bit frustrated that I wasn't able to compete with Max, but at the same time, considering the conditions, I'll take the 2nd place, to be honest. 15 seconds clear of Hulkenburg.
We're not going to be able to run in this engine mode much longer. We're about a lap over target. Drop down to mix 2 soon.
Fastest final sector. Magnussen just ahead of me. If he does the nice thing and get out of the way. personal best. I seem to be doing a lot of personal best. Oh my days, almost lost the back end there. Just as I was passing Kevin Magnussen, so that could have been a lot of trouble. That could have ended both of our races.
Some information on Hulkenburg. They're slowing down. It seems like there's some kind of problem with their car.
Oh, not too... Normally that would be really bad, but considering his gap to Carlos Sainz in 4th place, he should be able to last.
There's only 1 lap of fuel remaining.
Plus he's not exactly racing me, considering I've got like a 15-second gap to him, so Hulkenburg should be able to hold his position.
This is your final lap of the race.
Not long to go now in the race. It's the last few corners for Max Verstappen. Around the final corner. As I just napped one of the Renaults. Max Verstappen wins. I come round to claim 2nd place. I'll take it.
Okay, good job, mate. Really well done. That was a fantastic drive.
Victory for the team from Milton Keynes then, after a quality performance. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
Well, keeping their tyre temperatures up in the tricky wet conditions was really important. There's not much grip out there at the best of times, and it's 10 times worse if you're out there on cold tyres. So the way they kept the rubber in its proper operating window was a huge advantage today.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everyone at the team.
As you can see, the Drivers' Championship, Max is leading by 34 points. Lucas Weber is in 3rd place with 135 points. Oh man. Next race is Belgium. Gonna really need to do something there. My teammates moved up to 7th. Constructors Championship. Red Bull are leading by 13 points, 251 points. We've dropped down to 2nd with 238 points. There was 1 point the gap between Red Bull and Mercedes going into this race. Ferrari in 3rd, not too far behind us. Lando Norris got the fastest lap of the race. Well done to him. Everyone got lapped up to Bottas, who was in 9th place. That is that is crazy. 6.2 behind Max. That's the end of this video. Thank you very much all who have watched. If you want to keep up to date with my latest information, please follow me on Twitter, Facebook and Discord. Links are free as usual from your description box down below. Aside from that, please don't forget to hit that like button, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you all again on my next piece of content. Laters.